Since Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about the Al from Boston lawsuit, him being sued, and Jack and Jill's story. All right. Now, see if y'all can remember this one. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Each had $1.25. Jill came down. She had $2.50. The fuck happened up there on that hill? Who remembers that? Andrew Dice Clay. All right, Google it or YouTube it and listen to it. What happened on the hill? Nobody knows but Jack and Jill. Now, they speculate and they come up with all kinds of stories of how Jill could have got that $2.50, but nobody knows the truth. All right? And when you try to sue somebody, you can't have accusations, people. You have to have the facts. You have to have the evidence to prove your case. That's how you win. It makes no difference that Al from Boston filed a 200-page fucking argument into court. It was a good story, like Jack and Jill, but he never proved a single point. Now, he had all the makings for it, okay? He had the arguments, which could have used a lot of work, believe it or not. But he had the evidence, he had the exhibits that he needed, but they were all out of order and not in chronological order that the courts could easily follow. All right? And he brought more accusations than he did facts. All right? And like I told y'all when I first read this son of a bitch, it was a good story, like Jack and Jill. But if you don't want to end up like the motherfucker spreading rumors about Jill, you better have your shit together. Because a noisy hoe has posted that Mudrick Capital intends to seek its reasonable attorney's fees as a sanction for plaintiff's failure to comply with Rule 11. Talking about Al from Boston. Mudrick Capital's the first one that says, now, bitch, we want our attorney fees. And people, that can run up there into the thousands. So, the important thing that Al should have known before he done anything was to make sure his story was backed up with somebody else knew what happened on that fucking hill. Like maybe a whistleblower or something like that. And I'll give you another example. He has the Brazilian paperwork in his brief in an exhibit, all right? But it's in Portuguese. Now, does he think the court's going to take the time out to translate that document from Portuguese to American to find out if Al's telling the truth or not? No. It was Al's responsibility to provide both the Portuguese version and a translated version in case they wanted to question your translation. All right? There was ways around it, but he didn't do it. But now Mudrick Capital says, bitch, you're going to pay us our attorney fees. And I'm telling you now, I told y'all this was going to happen. And I'm telling you now, before it happens, all the rest of them are going to do the same. Citigroup's going to want their attorney fees back. Everybody is going to want, the New York Stock Exchange is going to want their lawyer fees monies back, and it's just going to become a shitstorm. But I got some good news out of it all, okay? Here's the good news. The good news is Mullen's people has filed a lawsuit, and it looks like Mullen's lawyers people, he has your back. That claim that I read and that I'm going to go over again with a fine-tooth comb this evening is almost a mirror to the one that I'm doing. I didn't want to reveal mine all the way, but when I read the Mullen one, I said, holy shit, it's like this son of a bitch read my document, because they're almost a mirror. So, what's the good part there? They gonna have to respond to Mullen first, and then we get to see what their argument will be. All right, it's as if I'm turning it in, and then they respond to me instead of me having to turn it in first. Mullen has, and they're almost exactly the same, so they're going to respond the same way. So I'm excited and stoked about that one, boy, because now I'm going to get to see. I think it rates an 8 out of 10 on the winnability scale from Legal Apex, which is really high, okay? If you can go into court, you can't get 100, you can't get a 10, because Jimmy's got experience. He knows they're corrupt, and there's no way that you can always anticipate 100% that you're going to win an argument because of corruption and all the other bullshit that's involved. Rather, the lawyer argues what I'm putting on paper effectively or not. So you don't get a 9, you don't get a 10. The highest you can get is a 9, so therefore it's a rank to 9, and we got an 8 on my argument. And I'm excited about that, and I want to see what's going to happen, and I'm coming up with reasons. Let me just file this one claim first. And it's like, no, you have to wait, CSI. And then sure enough, because I waited, Mullen's lawyer filed theirs. It's almost like mine, and I get to see what they're going to say to Mullen before I file mine. In the Al from Boston case, it's not a complete loss, people. He might as well get ready. If file for bankruptcy, Al, like they do. That'd be a good idea. When they hit you with that, say, I filed for bankruptcy, bitches. But I got some news for y'all. If they come, I had to take a sip of beer, and I can't do it with the camera anymore. They won't let me be monetized. But I'm going to tell them, if they step to me and say, we want our legal fees, I'm going to tell them the same thing I told my 5th wife. Bitch, half of nothing is nothing. You can take all of that. So, they can't threaten me with legal fees. I don't give a fuck. But I did go to ChatGPT, and we did look up Rule 11. Because it's been some years since I've looked at this kind of shit, alright? And I read it, and I seen what everything is. I'll just leave it there for a second. You could pause it and read it. When you sue someone and they decide to countersue you for their legal fees, it means that they are seeking reimbursement for the costs and expenses they incurred while defending themselves against your initial lawsuit. We know that. Here's how to proceed. Here's how the process typically works. Filing the counterclaim, all right, and so forth. There it is. Y'all just pause the video and read it. Pause the video and read it. Because I want to get down here. They're saying they are countersuing because I did not prove Rule 11. And then it explains to me what Rule 11 is. And by the way, I know they watching, no big deal. Look, I'm taking it easy on you. I'm using ChatGPT 3.5 instead of my 4. All right, so y'all quit getting upset that I'm using ChatGPT. I'm going to tell y'all about that story. They're fixing to pass a law here saying I can't use ChatGPT in legal work. I'll tell you on another video. But there's Rule 11, and that's what it says. All right, that they're accusing Al of improper purpose and harassment and trying to delay the process and so forth and so on. And the way it's going to work is they're going to take Al's lawsuit and they're going to take the defendant's responses and they're going to see which one makes more logical sense. And we'll see. But, again, they can't threaten me with this. I'm just scrolling through it. I'm not going to read that shit. Y'all read it. Y'all can pause the video and read it. All right? Because it's good read. It's good read. All right? That's why, man, ChatGPT's the bomb. Now I know I'm going to add the different aspects that it's talking about. Rule 11, I'm going to highlight at the end of my brief how that can apply in my case. You're not going to try to sue me for $1 million in legal fees, bitches. So with that, we do get to see their responses to Al, so that's a plus. All right. Love y'all. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.